Oh no.
With her April wrap-up.
Hi, Abel. First comment and award goes to you. Woohoo!
Yay!
All right, so these are
Love
we
it.
have Amy with us very last minute because I'm terrible at asking people to be on sprints. Clearly, um, we might get a Rainy at some point, but I don't know because she had said that it's like bedtime and stuff in her house, and she's got a newborn and all that stuff. So we'll see if she comes or not. I'm gonna send her the link so she has it. What was I saying? Uh, so technically tonight is Hooked Sprints for Brooklyn. Because Brooklyn is doing a read along of Hooked by Emily McIntyre. If you do not want to read that, that's fine. You can read whatever you want. I'm currently going to be finishing Terms and Conditions, which is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaires series, because now I'm like 90% in and I'm invested and I just need to know what happens at the end. But then I will be picking up, I bought the audiobook off Audible for Hooked because I don't really feel like reading it with my eyes. Like, I've already read it, so this is a reread for me. And I haven't
Yeah.
listened to audio, so I figure if I'm going to reread it, might as well do it a different way. So we're going to do that. Also, I have to remember to start and stop this stupid timer because I'm doing 24-hour, the 24-hour challenge. That's what we're doing. What are you reading, Amy?
I'm reading A Pivotal Pause by Amanda Ziba. It's independently published book by I call her my friend, but I know her from college. So I like to think she's my friend. That tracks, right?
I mean, that works. In my opinion, shoot.
So but this is the second book in a series. I love, love, love the first book. I'm really enjoying this one, but it takes place during the first months of 2020. So
Oh yeah. Oh, during the panorama. I got you.
yeah. So
I
yeah.
got you. Also, if you hear yelling from downstairs, I will apologize now. Um, Mariah and Mr. Reading One even have. I mean, I know the people that are here, but they're playing like a D&D board game or something, and they asked me if I was going to join, and I was like, I would, but also I have sprints because I do all of my booktube stuff on the nights that I'm not obligated to be on dates with anyone. So that's what so if you hear like just like random yelling, that's what that is. They get very excited. It's fine. We should not live in our house, so it's
No,
okay.
I mean, that's good.
I was
I
gonna say,
thought you were going somewhere completely different with that. So
oh, nothing inappropriate.
you hear screaming, they're really getting into it.
But I just didn't want y'all to hear like yelling from downstairs and think that something catastrophic was happening. I was gonna say something. Oh, I do need to edit at some point. I just don't really feel like it, so I'm probably gonna edit like after these sprints, to be honest, because I have 2 videos that need to go up tomorrow, and I just don't feel. One is pretty much edited. There's just one clip that has to be added to the end, which is my Florida vlog, weekend life vlog.
I'm excited to see that.
I just don't care enough to finish editing that last clip right now. And then I do have my TBR game for this month that needs to go up, and the latest that's going to be up is Monday. Both these videos, the latest they'll be up is Monday because I don't want to wait too long on the TBR game, or I feel like it's not worth posting.
I don't know that it's not worth posting. I may feel like it to you, but it's still like
people will still watch it.
Yeah, and you still filmed it before you started reading. Like it's
right. And technically, Terms and Conditions is a carryover book from last month. So if I have carryover books, which I only have this one actually, I have Daisy Hates also, but I'm trying to decide when I'm going to finish that because I'm not as into that book as I was into Magnolia Parks. I do want to finish it. It's just not a priority at the moment. But the rest of the books, like I've already downloaded ebook versions of some of the books that I have for my TBR game for my month. So
Mhm.
I'm going to read them regardless of whether anyone sees the TBR game video or not. So
Right.
it'll get posted
Yeah.
regardless. But
Yeah.
hello. How are you? Also, I feel like it's been 50 years since I hosted sprints because the last sprints that I did on my channel were the 24-hour sprints. So and that was 2 weeks ago now. Because I didn't do any last Thursday because I was at Reni's, but we went to the students at her school did a production of The Outsiders. We went to that. It was so good. Like I cried. Like
That is legitimately my favorite book in the
I love The
entire
Outsiders.
world.
But I forgot how violent The Outsiders is.
It's so violent.
So
I love
violent.
it.
I cried. Rainy did not cry. She has a
Oh.
heart of steel, apparently. I was boo-hooing. Like
I cry. I've read that book. I read it with my 8th graders. So I've read it 15 times.
yeah,
And I bawl
right.
at
It's
the end
so
every time. So my students sit there and wait for me because they know that I cry every year, but nobody in the year before will say when it is
so
that
they
I
just
cry.
wait for you to cry.
So they're like, is it coming yet? And I was like,
They're just like on edge. They're like, when are you gonna cry?
where does she cry? Where does she cry? But I have a class coming up that I am very sure that one of the students is going to cry right along with me. And I'm like,
See, I'm that person that like I took AP English all through high school and we watched the movie because my English teacher was like, I don't really want to make you guys read The Green Mile because the book is so long. And like, so we watched the movie and I remember being like, oh my God, I'm gonna be the only one in here that cries. Cause my mom was like, you're gonna cry. Like it's a sad movie. Like you're gonna cry.
mm-hmm.
Sure. But close your door if you're not going to. Okay. Okay. Good night. Go. Go. Go take your shirt off in your room and close your door. Go. You can just put that in your dirty clothes. It's fine. Just go. 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 Thank you so much. Sorry, she wanted to sleep with him. Yeah, close it, please, because people are allowed downstairs. No, close it. Thank you. Anyway, she's supposed to be in bed, but she had to come in here to ask if she could sleep with her shirt on, which I'm like, yeah, but close your door. I'll be there when I start the first sprint. Now go. Good night. Do not come back out unless you have to pee. Thank you. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, the Green Mile. So I knew I was gonna cry because my mom said I was gonna cry, and back then I was a crier. Okay, and I mean I'm still a crier today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cried a little less then, because drugs, but it's fine. So I was like, I'm gonna be the only person in here crying. The whole class cried, and half the class was boys.
Wow.
When I say boys, I mean like macho dudes that played football. And
Nice.
then we left the class and they were like, we didn't cry. They were like faking it. But I was like, I saw every last one.
Nobody believes you didn't cry.
Hello, so Sarah. Was I? No, you were not born yet. Good night. Good night. Go to bed. Go to bed. ML says hello to Amy.
Hi, ML.
Hi, Lexi. Need some readings for us this week. Haven't read much. I have read a lot this week, actually, which is crazy. I don't know. And it was crazy is like, okay, so I only worked 2 days this week so far. So technically my weeks start on Tuesdays. So if we're going off of that, I only worked 1 day this week and 1 day last week because I only worked Monday and Tuesday because I came back on Sunday.
Okay, that makes sense.
And on Monday, I had a new person at my job who is another, like, okay, so I have like my closing people, right? But Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I close with the same person. Like my actual person that's with me until close is the same person those 3 days. His cousin got hired. So I hadn't met him yet or whatever. And you know me, I don't be looking at my age. So this guy was like, I think because people were like, yeah, she's a manager, blah, blah, blah. We hadn't met each other because I went on vacation and then came back. But he started when I was on vacation. And he said to me, because he calls me Miss G. And also, I've never been called ma'am so much in all my life. It's fine, but I got to get used to it. You know what I mean? And he was like, Miss G, I just expected you to be older. And I was like, well, I'm 31. And he was like, you are? And I was like, yes, I am. He was like, okay, I expected you to look older. And I was like, a lot of people do. A lot of people. It's fine. It's fine. But I have read a lot. I don't know how. I've read a lot, but I have. I need to also do laundry. So I'm probably going to, after I finish this, listen to Hooked and do laundry. I don't know how I feel about Hooked as an audiobook because it's smutty, but I guess we're going to find out. Ollie is not home. Working. Thank you for letting me know, ML. Thank you for letting me know. For anyone that does not know what the context of this is, in Brittany's sprints, Brittany had asked Crystal if Addie was at home or at daycare. And I was like, one day somebody's gonna like pop in to a sprint like that's not part of our channel, and they're gonna think that we're like really nosy, just like asking people things about their lives, because like I will ask ML like, oh, is Ollie with you? So that's what that's in rearranging all your bathroom shelves. I need to rearrange my bedroom again. I already rearranged it. That's why this stuff is over here now. But now Mr. Reading with Neva doesn't like where the bed is. So I was like, if you don't like where the bed is, you need to tell me where to put it. Because I was saying the bed got moved to where it is because you told me you didn't care what I did in the room. This was a whole discussion.
He did. I remember that.
Prince one day. There's a whole discussion.
Yep.
That Amy, I specifically know it was with Amy. It was me and Amy. And I said, he doesn't care what I do. So I'm about to just deck this crap all out in pink. And then he was like, I don't really like the bed in front of the window. You don't? Oh. So I was like, so where do you want the TV? And he was like, well, leave the TV where it is because I like to lay on my side to watch TV. You couldn't have told me that the day that I like tweaked my back moving the stupid thing to begin with. So I told him,
I think he needs to do the maneuvering.
Oh, I told him I'm going to clear out the spot for the bed, and then he gets to move the bed. Yeah. Because the TV is going to stay right here. That's fine. But I was like, so you're going to move the bed.
Right.
And now I'm going to have room for my Papason chair because I can get rid of this table that's in here. He said I can get rid of the table. He'll take not get rid of it. We're going to keep it, but it's just not going to be in my room. And I was like, hey, great. So I'll get you like a smaller nightstand. You can use that. And then I can put my Papason chair in here.
Nice. I love those.
Chair, and I was like, no, that's my chair. So area. Thank you. Hello, Leandra. Good luck tomorrow. She has a presentation for her master's tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah, good luck.
Hello, Glenda. Hello. Rocket Reads, remind me what your actual name is, because I know you've told me, and I write everyone's names down until I get them memorized, and I apparently didn't write yours down, and now I feel bad, so you know. Hello, Jean. That's not one I have. I think I might switch to Scarred by Emily McIntyre instead of the Thursday Murder Club. Perfectly fine. Hello, Taylor. 52% of Hooked and loving it. I'm glad you're loving it. So I read this I did read it last year on Kindle Unlimited. So for anyone who wants to read it, if you have KU, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Just the ebook. You'd have to get the audio off of Audible. That's the only place I can find it. I don't know if it's anywhere else. It doesn't say it's an Audible exclusive, but I don't know where else to get it. I personally gave it 5 stars. It was great. But I do need y'all to know I mean, you can read the trigger warnings. She does like give a link in the ebook so you can go like to her website and look at all of them if you want. She prefers you go into her books blind, but there are some trigger warnings, kidnapping, bondage. Those are the 2 I can think of. I mean, it's pretty violent, you know what I mean? It's a Peter Pan retelling where Hook is getting revenge on Peter Pan. So you've been warned, okay? It's dark romance, y'all. It's dark.
Yeah, I'm not really a dark romance person.
I know, you're not really a dark romance.
I know that's shocking.
Now, Amy's not going to be joining us. You know what I mean? But
But I
Brooklyn
hope everyone that reads it loves it.
Brooklyn needed more people to help her out with sprints, and since she helped me so much last month, I was like, let me help you with sprints. So these sprints this month for Thursdays might just be hooked sprints, but you can obviously read whatever you want or do whatever you want. Hello, John. You're reading Wolverine Prodigal Son. This sounds wonderful. Really like Hooked. Yeah, I really like Hooked as well. Keep meaning to reread it. I need to read the rest of the books in the series, but I keep pussyfooting around with it. I don't know if I'm super interested in Scarred, which is like a Lion King retelling, and then there's also Wretched, I think it's called, which is Wizard of Oz. And then the newest one that just came out is Twisted, which I do want to read that one. That's an Aladdin retelling. And then she's just about to have the next one come out, and that's a Hunchback of Notre Dame retelling. And I have to read that. Hunchback of Notre Dame is like my favorite movie. Going to pick up North of the
See,
Stars.
now you're making me wish that I did like dark romance because I do love retellings.
Because the thing is like dark romance, like the dark romance retellings are just so good. But like if you're not into dark romance, I don't think that you would like them.
Right.
Because who are you speaking to? Okay, go lay down. Quit, bro.
You can start the first sprint soon enough, Neva.
My God. Okay. Going to pick up North of the Stars by Monica James. Keep trying to decide if I like this book or not. The audiobook is not done well. Yeah. So that was like with the Kiss Quotient. I did not like the audio. Because I originally started the Kiss Quotient.
Did.
I did not. I didn't like him.
Just goes to show some people can like it and some can't.
Maybe it's because of my own like autism. I didn't like the cadence in which she read the book. I did not enjoy.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like it was just I felt like she read the book in a very like stereotypical like how people think that autistic people speak, and it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
But yeah, I could see that. But I mean, it's been a while since I listened to it, but I remember liking it. But
I think for me, I was like, even not masking, I have more inflection. I mean, I usually mask a lot if I'm on sprints because otherwise I come off like very rude. I'm just gonna be honest. Like Mr. Reading when he was the same way. Like I can always tell when he's not masking because he comes off as rude. He's not being rude. He's just not trying to be happy. I don't know. That's not right. But you know what I mean? Like he's not trying to be right. So like when I mask, I come off as very rude. Because it actually I didn't mask one time. I didn't mask one time at work because I had a migraine and it's very hard for me to mask if I'm in pain. Like I can't do it. And I went to work. I had a migraine, but I was like, I'm still gonna go to work because like they need me. And people were like, "Are you okay?" Like people thought I was like gonna like hurt someone, and I was like, "I'm fine. This is just like what you get when I'm not like sunshine all the time." You know what I mean? Sorry. And he was like, and AJ was like, you seem a little rude. And I was like, it's not me being rude. It's just who I am. So I'm sorry. But I gave the Kids Quotient 5 stars. I just didn't love the audiobook. And sometimes audiobooks are not good.
Well, I think sometimes it's as an audiobook narrator, it's very easy to do the stereotypical.
Right.
Because that's easier for people to understand as well. Do you know, like,
yeah.
Not like in a way to like be rude or like.
The thing is like the representation of the Kiss Quotient is great.
It is.
It's top notch. But I think but I tried to start it on like 24-hour sprints, and I was like, like at the beginning of 24-hour sprints, I think in April. And I was like, because I read it in April. And I was like, I do not like this. And when I said that, people in the comments were like, yeah, I didn't like the audiobook either. So, I don't know. Jean read Hooked and enjoyed it. 4 stars. Wonderful. Hello, Crystal. Just had a meeting with her boss. Wonderful.
Hi, Crystal.
Amy. I'm going to be listening to Dracora, book 3 in Midorian Chronicles.
Nice.
Wonderful. I have no idea what this is, but it
I
sounds
don't
wonderful.
either.
I hope
But
it's wonderful. Clearly, it must be if you're on book 3.
she's at book 3, so she might.
No, not Rihanna. This is a male person that was hired. Rihanna, I believe, works daytime shift. I haven't actually met her. I think Crystal was on, or I think Amy was on when this happened.
I will. Yeah.
Rihanna was coming to the job, and I was like, "What? No, not."
I was on a lot. That's
Yeah, I believe this happened because I believe this all transpired during the last 24-hour sprints. I think that, or the April 24-hour sprints, something. But no, Rihanna.
It was
Not
one of the 24-hour sprints in April because you had like two of them.
Yeah. Rihanna. I've not met her, so I think she's a minor that works on either probably the mid shift because it wouldn't make sense for her to work morning shift if she's a minor because she'd be at school. So
Right.
yeah. Everyone's saying hello to Crystal. How long do you think you'll be going for? A few hours probably. It's like 9, so I'm thinking I mean maybe till like midnight ish. I don't know. What time is it for you? It's 8 for you, right?
It's 8 for me. Yeah.
So we'll see how long. Who knows? I mean, if Amy has to leave because she
I might need to leave.
then like that's fine. But I try to do 3 sprints.
Yeah.
But because I knew Brittany was doing her sprints until 7 ish, 7 or 8, I didn't want to schedule them for 8 and then have her like have to rush, you know?
Yeah.
Michael Clark at Duncan should have won the Oscar for The Green Mile, but did not. I agree with you. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Camilla. Things have been crazy at work this week. I'm not supposed to say anything yet, but I'm being promoted to clinic leader for my location.
Yay!
That's wonderful. I mean, I told everyone on sprints that I was being promoted before I was officially promoted too, because I knew I was going to be. So it's fine. Everyone's saying hello. When the transition is happening, I'm supposed to keep everything quiet until there's been an official announcement in 2 weeks. Understood. Everyone's saying hello. Listening to Hooked has been a trip. I'll be prepping for my defense tomorrow, so no listening today. But oh boy, yeah. I remember the things that happened, and so this is going to be very interesting because I feel like I'm going to forget that that's the audiobook that I have queued up, and then I'm going to go to work on Saturday if I don't get this done tomorrow. It's only 9 hours. It says I have like 3.5 hours if I listen at 2 times speed. So I might get this done before I even go, or 4.5 hours. So I might get this done before I even go back to work. But watch me go back to work and turn this on. Be like, and then be like, "What are you listening to?" And I'll be like, "I can't tell you.
I can't talk about it. I can't.
Because also on Saturday I'm going to be listening to Ice Planet Barbarians, and that's going to be happening at work. So
Nice.
I was saying hello. Yes, she's defending her thesis tomorrow. Yes, everyone's saying hello. I got lost for a moment. Melissa or Mel? Okay. I'm gonna remember this. Thank you. Okay, I got it. Have to defend my thesis tomorrow. As I'll come to this moment. You're gonna do great. You're gonna do great, Leandra. Exactly. Here you go. Yes, good luck. My community, fortunately, so quite intimate and laid back compared to the PhD ones I watch as an audience member. Yes, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Listen, you're all smarter than me, so it's fine. Like, I've just like found smart people somehow. I don't know how this happened to me, but am I getting a PhD anytime soon? No, I'm not. For how to celebrate would be very welcome. I say go
Sleep.
out or sleep. I mean, really, like you can't go wrong celebrating with a nap.
Sleep until like midnight and then go and celebrate.
Hello. ML said good food, good friends, and beer if you are into beer. And Leander said into all those things. And I wish I could have seen yours. I bet it was amazing. I bet ML was amazing too. ML is very smart. So And now she teaches other people how to be smart. You know what I mean?
How to be even smarter.
It is a fantasy series. There's a monthly read along going on with Sash and Ash. Wonderful. I'm about to do a read along this month of the Ravenwood. I don't know. It's dark romance, okay? But that series, they're reading like a book a week at the end of the month, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm committed to this, but I'm gonna try because I need to read this series. Like, it's been sitting on my KU TBR for like 2 years at this point, and I still haven't read it. And I'm like, if you do not read this, take it off the TBR. You know what I mean? Just sit there and stares at me. I was asked hard questions, but I could not answer. I did forget a scholar's name and book title, which is a moment I will never forget, but it was okay.
That would.
I have a funny story.
It takes guts to come back from something like that too. So
listen, when in high school, like I still sing, but I was very into my singing career in high school. And so when I was a freshman, I went to solo ensemble, which is competition. Okay. So your school competes in an ensemble, and then certain students that are picked from each school also do solos, duets, trios, all that crap, right? Okay. So I did a solo. I did an opera solo, and I could not remember the name of my piece or the artist that wrote it. So I stood up there and I introduced myself, and I brought my full name, and I was like, I'm in ninth grade at the school that I went to. I'm not going to tell you the school that I went to.
Yeah.
So I said ninth grade at the school that I went to, and I was like, and today I will be singing, and then I just stood there and stared at the old white man that was judging me. Somehow I still walked away with a 1, and but my choir teacher had to whisper it behind me, whisper it to me, and then I said it, and they were like, "Okay, go ahead and start." And of course, it's intimidating because these judges don't give you anything. They don't clap, they don't do anything. And usually there are other students and adults listening to you sing. So they clap, you get no reaction from the actual judge at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool.
I did have some judges that did. They were like, we're not really supposed to, but I don't care. If I get to sit and listen to music all day, I'm gonna clap.
The most reaction that I got out of an adult that was actually part of solo ensemble was the lady that sits at the door to make sure that people don't try to come in after you start.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it's so wonderful. And then I left and I started crying in the hallway because I was like, I forgot the name of my face, which is part of what you're judged on. You need to know the name of the artist, and I did not, or the composer, I should say, and I did not. And my choir teacher was like, "It's fine. You did great.
Your singing made up for it.
You hit the high C. That's what we were worried about." Type crap. Yeah. And I was like, and then 2 hours later, he was like, "Your results have been posted," and I went and looked, and I got a 1. So I was like, "Well, good on me, I guess."
Yeah. My freshman year, I sang a song about how ugly the love of my life is.
Wow.
It was in a different language, but the first line was, "My love is so ugly, but I love him anyway." But in a different language.
You knew a lot about love then, you know what I mean?
Freshman year, here I am singing about my ugly love.
That's fine. I will never forget her name or the book title ever again. Joan Nestle, A Restricted Country. Probably yes, that scholar will be with you always.
Yeah. Forever.
IPB is way less in your face than Hooked. I agree. I agree with that. I can listen to IPB without even making a face, to be honest. And then I read the first chapter or 2 chapters at work, on my Kindle, and I was making faces because he kills somebody in the first 2 pages of the book, and I'm like, I do not remember this happening. Clearly I just hyper fixated on the love story and not so much on the rest. Hello now. Hello, Hillary. Reading A Day of Falling Night. I have that right there. Mr. Reading Waniva just finished Priory of the Orange Tree today. He gave it 4 stars. But he said that he didn't really like it enough to move on to A Day of Fallen Night, so he's not going to be reading it. He's just reading Priory as a standalone. Also, you're welcome for this. Little spoiler, but Priory is one of the books that I'm rereading this month because I needed a book that was more than 600 pages. But also, I could have used a fairy tale, I think, but I didn't want to double up on prompts. I wanted to play it the way the game is supposed to be played because technically doubling up on prompts is cheating. And I was like, since you haven't played the game since last year, like I haven't played it at all this year other than for Stars Holothon, I was like,
I know, I haven't played mine at all this year either.
I was like, you need to like play it the way it's supposed to be played. So I have 8 total books because I landed on 8 total spaces between the start and finish line. And I am sort of regretting my decision, but because I know that I'm going to have to immersion read Priory of the Orange Tree. So like, it's not something I can read at work.
Even as a reread though?
I think I'll still have to. Plus I kind of want to annotate this time.
So. That makes sense.
Hello, Nell. I think I already read that. We always do, ML. We love you. Just woke up after falling asleep reading in Britney Sprints. Waking up at 2 a.m. is never good after falling asleep at 7 p.m. This also happens to me if I go to bed too early. Like, if I go to bed before, like, 3 a.m., I will be up at 7. And that's, like, what is happening in my life. Yes, congratulations. That beginning, just a man and his knife. It really was, bro. Like, I was like... And then, of course, one of my coworkers was, like, reading over my shoulder, and he was like, what are you reading? And I was like, it's a dark Peter Pan retelling, okay? And then I was like, I would truly, like, he's an adult. He's 21. So, like, if you corrupt yourself by reading over my shoulder, that's on you. You know what I mean? But I was like, I personally would not read over my shoulder. And that other coworker was like, dude, she reads, like, really, like, sexy books. That's what he said. That's how he said it. She reads really sexy books. And he kind of looked at me. He was like, Miss G? I was like, yes, I do. Okay. I was like, so to spare your eyes, I wouldn't read over my shoulder. Like, I just wouldn't. I warned you. So did a KU reading vlog of Hooked and I was full blown like, what the fuck through it all. Yeah, it's very... I mean, the whole point of the Never After series is that the villains get their happily ever after. That's like the premise of it. So the villains always come out on top. You know, the villains always get the girl or the guy, or because I'm pretty sure Wretched is sapphic, I think. So like that's the point. So like in Scarred, it's like who would be Scar, right? In The Lion King, he comes out on top at the end. Jafar she changes their names, but like who we would assume is Jafar in Twisted, I think it is the Aladdin retelling. He gets the girl at the end. It's like that. So they're like dark and twisty, and honestly, I'm surprised that Brittany's reading it, to be honest. I don't know if she's having like a time, like if she's having a fun time or just a time. But she's reading it. Like, I'm proud of her for reading it, because I was like, I didn't really foresee you reading this book at all. It would never be a book I suggested for Amy. I would never tell Amy, go read the Never After series. I would, no. Not to exclude you. I
am not insulted.
I just don't feel like it would
I am not judging anybody that reads it. It's just not for me.
I just don't feel like it would be the thing that you would want to read. Like, Verity was enough out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean?
Verity was pretty out of my, and I liked Verity a lot, but that was way out of my comfort zone. I can't just do that willy-nilly.
Right. Yeah, no. It would have to break, like, Hooked would break, like, every barrier that you have.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like we should feel uncomfortable when we read things. You know what I mean? It's not...
Yeah. Especially books that we're choosing to read.
Right. Right.
especially. I don't think we should be forced to read books that make us feel uncomfortable, but
I also just don't feel like you should choose, like, because I mean, I've read books that made me uncomfortable. I read one last year. It was a time, you know what I mean? But I like
yeah.
DNF'd it because I was like, this makes me uncomfortable. I can't do this.
Yeah. Like if the purpose is to challenge yourself, then a little uncomfortableness is fine. But if the purpose is to just simply enjoy it, like I don't know that you can get that from
Being uncomfortable.
really being
Right.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Do we want to do the first sprint?
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can remember what buttons to push. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I did it. Okay, great. All right. Listen, it's like when you don't do sprints for a long time, you forget what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna start with 45 minutes so I can finish the last 30 minutes of this book because I need to get this done so I can
You
cry.
think Ari will be sleeping?
Oh, I'm gonna go check on her before I start. That way she's not, because otherwise, because if she's not sleeping, she'll come in here and she'll be like, "Are you ever coming in here to tuck me in?" And I'll be like, "Girl," or she'll wake up at like last night. I tucked her in, turned everything on that she needed. She remembered me tucking her in, and then she still came in here at like midnight and was like, "I've been laying down for 4 hours," and I was like, "Ma'am, I already tucked you in. Like what?"
I'm
What do
sorry.
you mean? And then she was like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, okay. So I took her in there and I was like, I'll tuck you back in. But like I already did this. And she was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah." So call her to bed and then start reading. Yes, I'm gonna go check on the child as well. I forgot how to share my screen on sprints every time I sprint. Yeah. I forget how to make it like this. I
Mm-hmm.
forget which button I'm supposed to push, and then like my brain like seizes for a minute because I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to push the wrong button and then make one of our faces like gigantic because that's
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing. Hello, Jada. Kids are something. They're Kids are a
I
blessing.
mean,
You know what
I
I mean?
don't have to deal with them at bedtime, so but
Bedtime is the hardest time because at
often.
bedtime
I have like every once in a while with my sister, with my nephews, but when they were younger, but I don't
bedtime is
often do
when
the bedtime.
bedtime is when they think that they need every snack and drink in the house, and I'm like,
And
it's
for me, when I had bedtime duty, it was not a time that it really mattered that much, like they didn't have
right,
school the next day. They
right.
had wake up
Okay,
whenever they feel like it the next day.
right.
So,
Which, like, that's fine because here's the thing: even on like the nights I have to work, like it doesn't really bother me. Like Friday night and Saturday night, I'm like, do what you do. Like I'll literally be like, just go in your room and like play quietly. Like you don't even have to sleep. Just like
mhm.
leave me alone for a while. You know what I mean? Like so she goes to bed like whenever she wants on Fridays and Saturdays because she's in her room, she's being quiet, like whatever. But it's always like the school nights that she like wants to fight with me, and I'm like, bro. And then at 6:30, you're complaining that you want 5 more minutes. No. Mm-mm. Kids are fun until they have a meltdown over having hamburger helper for dinner because they want a quesadilla. Yeah, in our house, it's always that she tells me that she wants one thing. So she'll say she wanted pizza when she really wanted mac and cheese, and then she'll be like, "I wanted mac and cheese." I'm like, "Okay, but you said pizza. I'm making something else, buddy." Everyone's saying hello. Yeah, kids are magically SpongeBob level dehydrated like water right before bed. They really are, and then they have an accident, and then I have to wash the sheets all the time. Exactly this part. This part. And then I'll be like, it's because you, and she'll be like, I don't know why I had an accident. I'm like, maybe because you drank a gallon of water before you went to bed. Because
Oh,
we cut her hydration an hour before bed because otherwise she will have an accident. I'm sorry, I
I
don't have
have to do
time.
that or I won't make. I'll have an accident.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have time in my week to be washing your sheets every day. I don't have time for that. All right. We're going to do 45 minutes. So we will see everyone in 45. Goodbye. Hello.
Hello.
How did we do?
I got from 166 to 216.
Wonderful.
50 pages. Right?
Sure. I have no idea.
I can't math. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
good with math. So I finished my book and read there was like an extended epilogue that you could download, so I did that too. I'm giving this book 5 stars. Okay.
Nice.
I was crying a little. It's fine. I'm a sap, so it's fine. And pretty sure Declan is like a new book boyfriend for me. Okay. Like I loved everything about this book, to be honest. And I really didn't. I mean, the first book I gave it 4 stars or 4.5 stars. And like you do have to read the first book, like to know like what is transpiring. But
Is the first book fine print?
yeah. And it wasn't. I don't know. Like the main female character is pretty annoying, and the main male character does something that, in my opinion, is unforgivable. So, like,
In the first one.
yeah, in the first one.
Okay.
But the second one is Iris and Declan, and honestly, I love everything about them, to be honest. But yeah, so I will be reading Hooked in the next, or listening to Hooked in the next sprint. Because I have some things that I need to do anyway, because it's like that time when my body is like awake, because like I would be at work right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 hours ago I would have been at work, but you know what I mean. Like this is the time where my body is like, "Hey, girl,
Yeah.
we've arrived." Yes. Okay, let me see where we left off here. Okay, I think we left off here. Yeah. Don't slam your entire Stanley worth of water before bed. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's not do that.
Sure.
Hello, Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy. I also watched Chrissy's vlog.
I need to go watch it. Everyone's saying hello. Everyone's saying hello. Hello, Kiana. Chris did not read but ate dinner. Wonderful.
Nice.
I'm like hungry again and I just ate dinner. So I don't know what's going on. Didn't read, took a shower. Wonderful.
Good.
Didn't read or shower. All of these I need to do. My phone rang and that was that. Oh boy, can I chat a little. I mean, honestly, same. But no one be calling me like when we're actually in a sprint. Like AJ always calls me when we're like in the chatty part. My brother always calls when we're in the. No one calls when like I have the camera and or at least the microphone off. Like everybody calls me in the middle of the chatty part, and I'm like. And AJ like to the point where he'll be like, "Hey, are you sprinting right now?" And then proceed to talk to me anyway. Fine. But like got to page 51 of Love at First Set by Jennifer Dugan. Wonderful. This book is awesome. It's an origin of Logan. Oh, Wolverine. Okay, from the X-Men. And it is tragic and great.
I
Wonderful.
was wondering if that was a Wolverine, like X-Men origin story.
Listen, we love a Wolverine origin story, personally. Man, I have to read the last book in the series, and because I like the last brother too. I just didn't really like the first brother. He was maybe it's just, maybe because like the Fire Rant is about the youngest brother, and I just felt like he was dumb. And the second book is about the oldest brother, and the third book is about the middle brother. Maybe it's just the fact that like I'm an oldest, not an only child, but I'm the oldest child. So maybe it's just that I'm like Rowan's stupid, like, but he's also like the youngest. You know, I don't know. But also the timelines in these books are really weird because in the first one at the end, like in the epilogue, whatever, I mean, we all know it's going to end in happily ever after. Okay. So in the first book, the younger brother So it was Rowan and Zara is the first book. They get married in their epilogue, but in the fine print or in terms and conditions, which is the second book, they're not married yet.
Mm.
So it's like we go backwards in the timeline during terms and conditions, because in the fine print we get snippets of, so terms and conditions is like in a marriage of convenience.
So is terms and condition and the fine print taking place at like the same time?
Right. It's like linear because because in terms and conditions, terms and conditions starts with Iris, who is Declan's assistant, has found him a wife because like he has to, in order to get his inheritance, he has to marry and produce an heir. That's what has to happen. So he's like, I don't want to get married, so just find me a wife. Like, just I'll marry whoever you choose, right? So she like interviews people to find him a wife. So in terms and conditions, it opens with him meeting the person that he's supposed to marry, but she quits after she meets him on the day that they're supposed to be announcing their engagement. So when it comes down to it, Iris basically is like, surprise, I'm actually the fiance, even though she's not. And she marries Declan so as to help him get his inheritance. You see? But in the fine print, because we're following Rowan and Zara's timeline, we get snippets of Iris trying to find Declan a wife. Like, we see parts where like Iris is interviewing women and things like that. So it's like so they run like together, but technically Declan gets married first. You see what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because Zara and Rowan get married, like their epilogue I think is like 3 years later or something, and then they're married in the epilogue. So
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. Everyone's saying hello. Tried reading, but words lost meaning and accidentally napped. I think I will say good night and go to bed. Good night. Good night.
Right. I know that feeling.
But yeah. So now I need to read the last book, but I think I'm gonna take a break and read some other things first. Because I don't want to burn myself out, you know what I mean? And this one was so good. Like, so good. Ah, my God. And I've just decided that I'm not going to keep. I usually will like knock down romance books if they have like the third act conflict. In this one, it's not a breakup because they're married. Like, it's a contractual marriage. So
Uh,
she does, they don't like actually like break up. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But there's a conflict. But I feel like this. I feel like every romance book has a third act conflict or a third act breakup. I am just going to only knock down the rating for that if it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tessa Bailey
That makes sense.
Tessa Bailey is an author who I enjoy her books. I've enjoyed most of the things I've read from her, with the exception of My Killer Vacation. That I DNF that one twice. Anyway, otherwise, like, I've liked her books, you know what I mean? But she does third act breakups that don't make any sense. Like, it's literally just like if someone had opened their mouth and said something, this would have all been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Especially when I'm like, you are 30-year-old people. And you couldn't at least just, I mean, I get it if like you open your mouth and you say something and the other person doesn't listen to you, fine.
Right.
We'll go with that. But you didn't even open your mouth, bro.
Right. Yeah, you like
Yeah.
didn't even try.
Like, you didn't even try to say something, and then you want to act offended.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to listen to How to Succeed at Witchcraft, which is my current audio read, and it is YA, and I've been struggling to really, really get into it. Which doesn't make sense because it has witches. It's sapphic in a school setting, magic school setting, but I don't know if it's just because I'm so busy. I am like struggling with full attention or what. Maybe it's just also, I mean, it could just be because it's YA, like depending on how YA it is. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because there's like different levels.
Yeah. For me, it would be stress. Like I'm struggling getting through books just because like it's the end of the year. Like last week, I read barely anything because it was like midterms and
Yeah.
like stress causes me to not get through stuff.
Right.
Sure.
Okay, I
And
don't
I
know
can
if
be enjoying it the whole time, but I just won't get through it as fast.
I don't know if Jean is still here because underneath this comment she said goodnight for the reals now, but no. So the premise of the Dreamland Billionaires, it is basically a Disney ripoff. Okay. But the point of the Dreamland, like the premise of the Dreamland Billionaires is, and you figure this all out like in the first book, but essentially the brother's grandpa passes away and he is the owner, Walt Disney, if you will. So he is the owner of Dreamland and he passes away and leaves a letter for each of the brothers, and each brother has a task that they have to complete. So Rowan's task was that he needed, I believe, to come up with some kind of new attraction at Dreamland, and be like the like supervisor or something. There's, I don't remember exactly what his task was, but it had to do with like Dreamland itself, like
Okay.
being like working in Dreamland itself. The director, I think, is what he was supposed to be. And then Declan's task is that he has to find a wife and produce an heir. So, but all three brothers have to complete, and I don't remember. Hold on, I'm about to look to see what the other brother's task is because I don't remember.
Okay, but his depends on a whole lot of other people.
Right. Well, this is, and that's why, like, he does this whole thing where he's like, just find me a wife. Because basically what happens is he makes Iris sign this contract. Obviously, it becomes null and void by the end because happily ever after and all that crap. But, like, basically, he has a contract that he needs, that a woman who he's going to marry has to sign that says that they will have to be married for 3 years and produce one child via in vitro, what is that called?
In vitro.
There you go. In vitro fertilization. So basically, he's not going to have sex with her to produce the baby. Okay. So
Okay,
that's the whole thing. And then he basically is like,
but it
and
doesn't always work.
also, after the heir is produced and after the 3 years of marriage is over and they've divorced or whatever, I guess, the woman has full custody of the baby. Like he doesn't want anything to do with the child. You're right. Like that's the whole. Now clearly this is null and void. Like by the end of the book because things unfold the way that they do. But at the beginning, that's the contract, and Iris typed up the contract so she knows what the contract says before agreeing to marry him. You see, because she talks him down and she's like, "Oh no, like." A child needs a mother and a father type thing. Because she's like, well, now that you're marrying me, buddy, like it's gonna be half and half. Like I'll divorce you after 3 years, but like, no, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third brother's task is, um, so the third brother's task is that he has to spend a summer at the family lake house before selling it. So this one is, um
So, do you know what all of their tasks are before
yeah, you find out what all their tasks are in the first book.
in the first book? Okay.
That's the only reason I'm willing to like tell you. I mean, it also says it in
Right.
each of the synopses, like if you read the synopses as well.
Yeah.
But you find out within like the first couple of pages because Rowan gets the letter and the letter is the same for all of them. So they
Mm.
all know what each of the tasks are because they're supposed to help each other fulfill said tasks. But
Mm.
the final offer, which is the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire, so that's Cal and Lana's story.
Okay.
Um, they it's a like a second chance romance because apparently um it looks like he broke her heart. It says,
Yeah.
my childhood best friend and the only woman I ever loved, and I broke her heart 6 years ago. I promised to never return to Lake Wisteria. I kept my word until my grandfather's will changed everything. To receive my inheritance, I was tasked with spending a summer at the family lake house before selling it. The request was simple in theory until my entire plan blew up on the very first day. Turns out Lana doesn't just live at the house, but she claims to own it too.
So, and he has to live there because his
But it's
grandpa said he
but it's the grandfather's summer house. So
But he
my
has,
guess
but like
is
Cal has to live there, and she already does. So his
right.
grandpa essentially.
But apparently, but then it says Alana falling in love with Callahan or Cal. He just is called Cal. Callahan Kane was a mistake. He told me so before destroying my heart in our friendship 6 summers ago. When he promised never to come back, I foolishly believed him. But then Cal showed up again, intending to sell his grandfather's lake house, the biggest flaw in his plan. My name is on the deed. So clearly, like, somehow she got this lake house. But I feel like that was like the grandfather's plan. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like
Mhm,
it's like a second chance romance. It feels probably like a forced proximity.
mhm. So how like spicy is this series? Is it like
Mm,
bully
I,
spicy?
I mean, on like my rate, like on my spice rating, which is 1 to 5 peppers, I would maybe a 3, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because the here's the thing, it's like there's sex in it, and like
Oh
that
yeah,
it's not closed door by any means, but
yeah,
it's very normal sex. Like there's no bondage or I mean,
yeah.
unless you're
See,
like
I
offended
can handle that.
unless you're offended by like spanking. I mean, there's some like light spanking, I guess. But
No,
like
not
it's
really.
nothing that's like it's nothing that wouldn't be in like a contemporary romance.
Yeah.
So I
Have
mean,
you read
unless
anything by Pippa Grant before?
no.
So her books are spicy. I don't know what you would rate them, but they're I really like her books. And
Yeah.
they're I mean they're
I mean, it's
open
pretty
door,
much
but
what it
they're
is.
very like tame open door, I think.
Yeah.
But they're also hilarious.
I
So
mean, like, I'm not gonna ever like. I would never suggest like you would probably be okay. Like you would probably have
yeah,
fun reading these books
I think
because
I would because I would
it's
love that
very
Disney connection
it's
too.
very like Disney esque. Like you can tell like
Yeah.
who the princesses that they talk about like are supposed to be. They change the names, but like it's like
Mhm.
if you like Disney, like if you're an adult who likes Disney, I would suggest this book to you unless you do not like sex in your books at all. Like if you're a person that's like,
No,
ew,
I
no
can
titties
handle
now.
it all.
I mean, I think the most like I don't even want to call it offensive, but I think like the kinkiest, I guess, that it really gets is like there's like oral that happens on both ends, but like I don't. It but to me
I
like
mean, if
it's
I need to, I can just like
you could just
do
skip
it
it and it
anyway.
would like you could literally just like skip down it if it made you like
Yeah.
uncomfortable because
Yeah.
it's
Like if I started to, yeah.
especially this. Well, both of the books are pretty slow burn.
Hmm.
So you know that the sex is gonna happen way before it happens. Like, and actually in the fine print, there's a spot where you think it's gonna happen and it stops. So like it stops with like making out. You know what I'm saying? So like I would only not suggest this series to people that like don't like Disney, I guess. Or people that like really are against sex in their books, which I have a few friends that really do not want to read sexual anything in their books,
Yeah.
which that's fine. But it's not like like the spice level for me at least. I mean, I would probably give it like a 2, maybe a 3. But
I mean, I think our levels of spice are
I
different, but
feel
I
like
think I could
for
handle
me
your 3.
I mean, let me read to you what my 3 is because it is so for anyone who cares, I do have a spice meter. Like I have a rating scale. I also have how I rate spice scale pinned to the top of my Instagram grid if you ever want to know. So,
That's smart.
okay, so I guess off my own rating scale it would be a 3, which is Steam was present. Well, maybe it would be like 3.5. I'll give you that. Because my 4 is lots of steamy scenes with more than just typical or vanilla elements, at least in our rating. And a 3-star falls for me with Steam was present, but not more than PG-13 rated smut. Definitely not YA though. But I feel like in a PG-13 movie, even if you don't see it, like you know what they're doing.
Hmm.
I mean, in a PG-13 movie, you don't need the actual visual to know what they're doing. You feel what
Right.
I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
maybe between a 3 and a 3.5. Because,
Hmm.
like, a 5 to me is, like, it could have plot, but it might not have plot, but also, like, I literally put Be Back Shortly, definitely triple X rated. So, like, this is definitely, like, vibrator level smut. Like, that's, you know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
like, and it's definitely not that because they're slow burns.
Hmm.
So, like, you get more, like, kissing and, like, stuff like that than anything else.
Yeah. I
Uh,
can use that.
Chrissy finished Nightbook, and now, other than Hook,
I love night books. Chrissy, when I was watching your vlog, I got so excited when I saw you were reading night books. Like, I love that book so, so much. It's just this cute little spooky middle grade, and I loved it.
everyone's saying yay. Did you finish Hooked, Leandra? Leandra has not, she said, halfway through. You're welcome. Yeah, it, at least with this last book, it sounds like Grandpa's trying to do Parent Trap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely even marketed as a second chance romance, which, I mean, I'm not above that. The first one I think was
I
supposed
like
to
second
be
chance romances.
like enemies to lovers or something, because like they don't like each other at all when they first meet. He thinks she's annoying and she thinks he's an asshole. So
In the first one?
yeah, I mean, same. I thought she was annoying and I thought he was an asshole, but but also like as I was reading it, like I like it's very, the first two books are very grumpy sunshine. So like the women are very sunshine, but I related more to Iris and her sunshine
Mm-hmm.
than to Rowan and Zara.
I love a gender bent grumpy sunshine though. Like I
Oh, me too. Where the woman is the grump. Me
yeah,
too. It's
I
harder for
love
me to
I love
relate.
grumpy sunshine, but I love a gender bent one, you know?
It's harder for me usually to relate to the female character that way because I'm a very sunshiny person.
Yeah.
You know,
I am too. I think
but
that's I want to read about like female characters sometimes that are not like me.
it's
And
but a lot of times grumpy females, so a gender bent grumpy sunshine will remind me of myself when I'm not masking, and then I'm like, I see you, girl. Even though that's like your actual personality and not just, you know, it's fine.
through
A vanilla pepper.
vanilla pepper. Is that the
Oh,
spice
because
reading?
I think she's talking about my spice rating. Because I said, because my four peppers were, because like four peppers is definitely like, there needs to be like light bondage or something. Like there has to be something that's not just like typical things that you would theoretically do in a like vanilla relationship. I feel bad saying that, but you know what I mean.
I get it. Yeah.
But like praise, like I would never tell you to read praise.
I would never read it.
I don't remember who that's by right now off the top of my head. It's being made into a movie and I cannot wait. But Praise, like while it's BDSM light, I still rated it 5 peppers because like once this, because like she's on her knees accidentally, like unknowing to her, like he tells her to get on her knees thinking that she's a submissive and she's not. She's like there for something else, but he doesn't know that. So, and she just like does it, which like, why would you do that? Okay. But like from the jump, like I was like, okay, this is gonna be 5 peppers because like once the sex actually happens, it
It's gonna be.
Praise is what 50 Shades of Grey should have been. You know, with contracts and lists and communication and not stalking. Anyway, just saying. ML, not the spanking. There's some spanking in there. I don't remember if it actually happens like while they're doing the sex part, but like he definitely like lifts her over his shoulder and she's like hitting him on the back and it's like, "Are we doing this? You're a caveman." And he like swats her on the butt, so she like smacks his butt back. Like, I mean, I guess I see how that could be offensive to someone, I suppose. I don't know. I'm here's the thing. My spice meter I think is broken. Because I have to think about what other people would think is spicy when I rate books for spice. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, these are things that I do anyway. So, like, I don't. And then I'm like, what does that say about me? What does that say about me? So I have to be like, if Brittany read this, would she think it's very spicy? Because Brittany's newer to the spice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, ML. I think though, ML, that you would have fun with Dreamland Billionaires, except that I don't know how much you love straight relationships. That's nothing against you. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how much you love that in books because you could skip the sex. Like, you don't have to read it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And there's plot outside, like, there's actual plot. Like,
Right.
the
And
girl,
I want to have the plot. Like
yeah,
I
and
want
like,
the plot to be there. And if there's some sex sprinkled in, I'm okay with it.
if
But
you
I
took
want a
the
plot.
sex, if you took the sex out, it would be the same book.
Yeah.
My kids and I called PG-13 sex scenes kissing in bed naked. I mean, that's a thing that happens. You know what I mean? Hello, welcome. How are you? This book is on my first TBR and can't wait to read it. Yeah, it's so good. Sarah Kate, yes, that is who writes Praised.
Oh.
Anyone know what RTC stands for?
Right to choose. What's the context?
Yeah, Gene, what's the context of this question? Because
And I thought you were going to bed,
yeah,
Jean.
I thought that too. But what I would say right to choose. Also, I don't know what else it would be without context.
Yeah.
She said not at all. I have no love for them. I mean, and then she said kidding. She's talking about straight relationships. Here's the thing. I have friends that are lesbians or gay, like that are like, I don't want to read about straight couples. You know what I mean? Like if it has spice to it. So like that's why I was saying it, not to be like offensive, but if you I mean, they're all straight pairings. Like they're all men with women. So like if that's not your thing, then maybe not. But like
Mm-hmm.
Ride the Cyclone. It could. It definitely could. I'm not a fan of slow burn, but I don't like insta love either. Yeah, so to me, because of the way that Lauren Asher writes these books, the slow burn works for me because we know, like we see the characters because they're dual point of view books. So we see as the characters are falling in love, even though they're denying each other. You feel me? Because like especially in Terms and Conditions, the two of them were already in love. You know what I'm saying? But they just weren't verbalizing anything to each other. They'd verbalize it to other people, but they weren't verbalizing it. And other people picked up on the fact that they loved each other, but like they weren't communicating that to each other. So like that's okay for me because I'm not a huge like if you see them one time and then you're like, I love him. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah. I don't love
You saw each other from across the airport one time 5 years ago, and you're trying to tell me you've been in love with him ever since? No, I don't think so. You know what I mean? I just
RTC is review to come. I just thought I would.
Oh, review to come.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
on Goodreads. Yeah.
Yes. So that means that like they're reading it or they finished it and they want to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't do all that, to be honest. Like I'm not gonna rate. Well, first of all, I don't put reviews on Storygraph. Anyway, I don't put reviews like on those platforms. I need to do reviews. Maybe I'll just start with this book and just be like, here you go. You get May to December. Because like I did one review last month, and that was for the last book in the Vicious Lost Boy series. That's not for you to read me. Absolutely not. And I only did a review because I really enjoyed the book and it was the last book in the series. But like I think I only did a review on the first book and the last book. Like I didn't do a review on either of the other two. That one, the spice is fine. I'm sorry. It's because the thing is like there's not a lot of spice in the last book even, but like in all of the books, once the spice happens, it's just so over the top that like you know, there's a lot of like multiple people and doing things while flying. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Ask Mr. Reading with you about it sometime because at the time that I started reading that, I was on BookTube, but I was not a booktuber. You understand? So he was the only person I had to talk about these books, and I was like, "You will never guess what happened in that book." And I was like telling him about it, and he was like, and I was like telling him about all these things, and he was like, "These aren't things you want to do, are they?" And I was like, "No, but I have to get this off my chest. I can't just hold it in. I have to tell someone about it. Okay. I like to read about this. I mean, I'm gonna like do it in practice. Also, you can't fly, so that's not gonna work."
Unless you're investing in some.
Right, unless you got like sweatpacks for your feet or something that you can tell me about. Unless you're gonna hang on to the wing of a plane, like I don't know. Like, I don't know. Probably be more likely to read I Spent Barbarians than about regular straight men. Yeah, and I mean they're pretty regular. I mean, we did Iris is black, so like we do have that in terms and conditions. I think the other two women are white, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I know that Zara, I'm pretty sure, is white. But Iris is black, and that's cool. But they are pretty like regular straight men, which I mean, I like men and women and whoever at this point. So I'm gonna read about men, women, blue aliens. A couple weeks ago, I read about orcs. Actually, that was just last week. So who knows? You know what I mean? At this point, like, what is a limit? I clearly don't have one. I do have one limit, but it has nothing to do with like the gender of someone. You know, how they identify.
Yeah.
Don't read much romance, but it either has to be as mild as a Midwestern taco or the most fucked up shit you've ever seen. I mean, right. I mean, I'm good with like somewhere in between. You know what I mean? Like I would almost. Well, okay. So like Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas is like a recommendation that I give to a lot of people as long as they don't mind an age gap. Because that's the other thing is like a lot of like the darker romance has like usually will have some kind of age gap in it. And if you don't like an age gap, then like
I'm okay with an age gap, but I don't like teacher-student relationship. Like in
okay. So Birthday Girl is an age gap and it's an ex-boyfriend's dad. You see? Because like in the book, she's dating the boyfriend. They move in with the dad. Her and the dad, well, the boyfriend's an asshole. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I did. He like shit. He's a dick. But nothing actually my thing is that I was worried about it because I was like, I don't like a cheating trope. I detest it. In the trash. You understand me? It's why I did not like that After I Do book. Trash. Anyway, but there's no actual anything that happens between the dad Pike and I don't remember what the chick's name is, but between them until after she's broken up with the boyfriend and he moves out, and then there's things that happen, you know, and then there's but nothing actually happens while I mean they know that they have feelings for each other, but they don't act on anything until after she's not with the son anymore.
Okay.
You feel me? So there's no like cheating in it. But I really enjoyed that. But it's 600 pages and it's a slow burn, baby. Penelope Douglas just be dragging you on for like 3.
I like a nice 300-page romance.
And I read it. Here's the thing: I read so many of these on
Kindle. I saw the page number on the fine print, and I was like, really?
That's the thing. I read so many of them on Kindle Unlimited that I just ignore the page number, and then I get done with it and I go to put it in my book journal, and I was like, I just read a 530-page book. Why? Why was it so long? Why? Yes, we knew what you meant though. Amy added fine print on Goodreads. Yes,
I did.
Oh, she's typing on her phone.
Okay.
I
then
love
you're
how
okay.
I do not read romance, but I know so many of the plots of all of these because I am just on BookTube so much. Yeah, and my thing is like I tend to. So even before I was like a romance girly, which has only been like the last 6 months. Okay, so don't be out here. People be asking me for recommendations about things, and I'm like, what are you looking for? Because dark romance, like I've been a dark romance girly, like a smut romance girly for a minute. Temporary romance is harder for me because I have only been into that for like 6 months. But also I'm afraid of like corrupting people like Brittany. You know, Brittany was like a real like contemporary romance girly. She liked light, fluffy romance. And then she got involved with me and she bought a Kindle. And then she was like, hey, I need some book recommendations. And then I was like, hey, read this wit sex series because I need people to talk about it. And then the whole group just read it. The whole Kelsey read it, Crystal read it. Who else read it? Reni, Brittany. And I was like, this might not really be for y'all, but also I need y'all just to read it. Like, we need people to talk about it. And then it just became everybody's favorite series. You know what I mean? I'm the worst, best influence ever. You're welcome. Age gaps are hit or miss, but apparently serial killer romance is fine to me. Yeah, serial killer romance is great. Mafia romance, great. I love a good enemies to lovers. Like, I don't know what about an enemy, like a true, I'm talking brutal prince, enemies to lovers. Like, I need you to literally want to kill each other. Like, that's what I need. And then for you to fall in love later. Is it Stockholm syndrome? It could be. You know, but that's what I need. Now, would I ever want to hate someone and then fall in love with them? Absolutely not. But will I read about it? Every day
Absolutely.
of the week. But also, that's why it annoys me when contemporary romance says that it's like an enemies to lovers. No, it's not. It's like a
It's like
lukewarm.
I don't really like you,
Like
but now I do.
you annoy me. That's not
enemies.
that's not hate, y'all. I need hate. If it's enemies to lovers, I need y'all to hate each other. You understand?
Yeah.
I need you to not care if one of you dies tomorrow. Like, that's what I need. I'm good with like I don't like you type thing, you know? Like dislike to lovers, like fine. Like I don't really like you that much type thing, but that's not enemies. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
One of my next reads is Sierra Simone. Have you read Sierra Simone? I have not read Sierra Simone yet, but she is on my list because I've heard good things. Yeah, I don't like, and maybe it's because like in the past, like I've been cheated on, so like I know what that feels like, but I don't want to read about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
I don't
why
want it to be glorified.
a vlog is coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm going to be redoing the Colleen Hoover vlog. Okay, y'all get the first little sneak. All right, when I was with Reni, we went to Target. Was that dangerous? Yes, it was. I got all the rest of the books that I need to finish my Colleen Hoover backlist. Okay,
Nice.
all of the books that I've not read by her, except one because I didn't have it, which is Finding Cinderella, but I'll get that at a later date. These are all the books. So I'm going to be doing a vlog or maybe 2 vlogs because there's 2 series here. So I may break it into 2 different vlogs. I haven't decided. Where I read all of these books and we talk about them. It's gonna be great. But I know that this one, I'm pretty sure, has, or maybe it's this one. It's one of these Hopeless series books, has cheating in it. And I'm not excited, to be honest. I'm gonna give it a chance. You know what I mean? Colleen Hoover is pretty toxic anyway, so I
Yeah.
might just be like,
I mean, Ellen Hildebrand, if you've read her at all,
yeah.
her books a lot revolve around cheating. Like it starts the plot, it does the plot. It doesn't normally like glorify it, which is why I'm usually okay with it. But like a lot of her books have a basis of cheating in it.
I mean, are y'all trying? I feel like maybe these authors are like trying to like come over their trauma in their books or something, but like I just
maybe I don't
go to therapy instead, please. I don't want to read. I just don't want to read about cheating. Like I don't care to read about it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same Penelope Douglas that wrote Credence. I will not be reading Credence. That shit that creeps me out. I did not even try it because I know that it's like a girl who it's like a why choose or whatever. But it, like, or maybe actually I don't think it's a why choose. I think she's supposed to choose one by the end. But it's like her step uncle and her step cousin, which wouldn't.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Okay, so it's like her stepfather's step brother and his son. You understand? So it's like removed. But the problem that I'm having is that what I'm being told is that she's grown up believing that these people are her uncle and her cousin.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
But it is, but it's better. So I would try Birthday Girl if you want to try Penelope Douglas and don't want the creepy pseudo incest. You're welcome. Yes, you need to read Whitsick. The fourth book, third book, fourth book, the last book in the series comes out August 31st. Maybe don't do what I did and read them all like in January, well, January or February, and then have to like wait a whole year for the last book. Will I be doing a reread? Yes, I will. I'll probably vlog it. You're welcome. Beauty and the Beast is the real Stockholm syndrome. You're right, but also I am a hoe for Beauty and the Beast retelling.
I
Bonded
love
by
Beauty and the Beast
Thorns, if
retelling.
you want a good Beauty and the Beast retelling, but that one is pretty spicy. Actually, Amy, don't read that book.
I loved By the Book by Jasmine Gilroy.
By the Book,
I loved that
that's
retelling. But
yeah.
it was not very spicy.
You know what? Let me try to find what book it
I don't
was.
think it was spicy.
It's a YA Beauty and the Beast retelling. I read it like 2021, I think. Let me see if I can find what the book is called. I'll send it to you. If you've not read it, you could read that. For anyone that wants to read Bonded by Thorns, I'm going to warn you now because no one warned me. Okay? There is gay sex in it, and it's very graphic. You're welcome. No one warned me, and I was just like going along, like reading this book, like yes, we love it, because I thought it was like it is a why choose, but like I was expecting it to be a why choose with like this chick and then these three fae, right? These three fae men, and then two of the fae men are like, and I was like, what is happening? Because it just like slaps you in the face, like you don't get a warning. Which, like, I'm not above it. You know what I mean? I'm not against it. I'm just saying no one warned me, so I'm going to warn y'all. You're welcome. I've been reading romance since I was 13, started on Harlequin, and have read everything. I put everything on Goodreads. Yeah, I used to read Harlequin, too. Harlequin, when I was young, you know, my grandma would give, like, I would sneak. My grandma would not give them to me. My grandma would read them, and then I would take them. And then she found out I was reading them, and she was like, I don't know that these are appropriate. And I'm like, well, I've already read half of what you own. So at this point, and I was just like, this is so scandalous. You know what I'm saying? And now look at me. Now look at me.
My sister and I will give books to my grandma, and she literally will say, it was good, but it wasn't very smutty.
Bro, because grandmas be reading
grandmas
be reading smut, and they don't tell nobody.
Yeah. Like this generation is not smuttier.
Like
we don't love smut more. We just don't talk about it like our.
We talk about it. We talk about it. They were like,
we talk about it more than our places.
They were undercover smut readers. They were like reading it like under their covers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they were like, and then they were calling them like bodice rippers. That's what they were calling them. And you were like, okay, grandma, that's a nice love story that you have. And then you read it and you're like, grandma.
There's a store called the Bodice Ripper that's just all romance. It's a bookstore somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but
I need to find out. Yeah. Chris, if you write this, I will be an ARC reader, to be honest. Enemies to Lovers Sapphic Fantasy? A Sapphic Enemies to Lovers Romantasy? Listen, sign me up for that ARC team. I will read that. The best dislike to Almost Lovers is Klaus and Caroline. I agree. This is, I almost said Supernatural, and that's not right. The Vampire Diaries. That's what she's talking
about. Okay.
All the Colleen Hoover. Listen, I really dropped the ball last year because I did record a Colleen Hoover vlog and then proceeded to accidentally delete half the footage. And then I was like, I am not going to reread these books and refilm this. Like, I'm not going to do that. So I just waited until I had the rest of the books I needed, and now y'all guys will get it. You're welcome. It is the same Penelope Douglas. Yes, it is.
It is in California, but it's called The Ripped Bodice. Sorry. Well, The Ripped Bodice in Los Angeles, California. All romance. All the time.
Or is more like, listen, I need this book, like, right now. I love me some science magic. Sign me up as your beta reader. Or you want me too. Great grandma made a point of noting in her memoirs that her mother used to enjoy risque romance novels. Me too. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
I
I
love
just
that your great grandma had memoirs. Right.
right. Right. It's like, wow. But I feel like because of booktube, we just talk about this smut more. It's not that we're reading it more or that it's like it's not like a new concept, like
No,
having
no.
over the top sex in books. It's just that now we talk
Absolutely.
about it because we're on the internet.
Mhm.
Because really, I watched romance booktubers before I was even a romance
Well,
girly.
I mean, that's like the adults. I mean, I guess I'm one of, like, but the adults that think kids are doing like crazier things than they did when they were that age. Like, no, they just didn't have Facebook where it all got put up. Like, excuse me, you did a whole bunch of stupid stuff. So
Right. Like
it's not a new concept.
I just feel like I just feel like we can talk about it more because it's more like
Hmm.
accepted, I guess. Like, I mean, people make fun of me at work all the time because, like, I'll have my Kindle sitting. I mean, obviously, there's no book on here right now because I finished my book, but I'll have my Kindle sitting with like some like sexy cover on the front, and they're like, "What are you reading?" And I'm like, "Smut. What's it to you? Get away from me." Question is, I am debating to buy a copy of Zodiac Academy 5 as the e-copy. Does Amazon still pay the author for the page count or only the purchase? Okay, so I believe if you buy it as an ebook, if you actually purchase it like if you read it through Kindle Unlimited, they pay the author per page that you
Right.
read. But so per page that each person that downloaded that book reads. That's how they
Mhm.
get. But if you purchase the book, I believe they just pay them based off the purchase, which
Yeah.
is why if I do Kindle Unlimited, because the physical copies are more expensive than the ebooks, correct? Yes. Okay. So if I read a Kindle Unlimited book and then I say I want to own this book, I buy it as a physical copy for myself.
Yeah, I do that too.
And that's simply because yes, they're getting paid per page count, but like this book, when the discreet cover came out, I bought it. You can read this book Under the Night Sky. I don't know if it's the discreet cover that it shows or the man cover, which is right here, but I'm not going to try to pull it out. It's got like a half naked man from a motorcycle. You're welcome. But I like the discreet cover also. So I bought this when it was announced, even though I already had the
That's-
sexy man cover. Thank you. That was gifted to me. But I also read it on Kindle Unlimited because she gets paid that way too. Like when
yeah.
I read it that way. But I think they get paid more if you just buy the physical copy. So I usually just buy me personally, I just buy the physical copy if I liked a book that I read via Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
Because then you're getting paid for the fact that I read the book on Kindle Unlimited, but they're also getting paid for the actual purchase. Especially since people are like boycotting Kindle Unlimited, which hurts the authors a lot.
Right.
It doesn't hurt Amazon. Amazon doesn't
No.
care if you're subscribed. But that's why like I won't ever give up. Even if I stopped using Kindle Unlimited, I would still probably pay for it because there's some money from my purchase of Kindle Unlimited. I do need to figure out how to gift it to myself though, because people be talking about gifting it to themselves for a whole year. And my stupid ass is over here paying for it monthly. Like, and
Right.
I could be saving money.
Yeah.
What?
Hmm.
Absolutely doing
Right.
stupid.
We did all kinds of stupid stuff. There just was no way to record it
Thank
on the
God.
internet.
Thank God. Could you imagine
I know.
some of
Like,
the pictures that I see from like prom and stuff? I'm like, wow, this is what y'all think I was doing. Because these were the moments that we had captured on our cell phones or
mhm,
disposable cameras or digital cameras, whatever, you know what I mean? But like,
mhm.
now I'm like, could you imagine all this shit? And then I'm like, y'all, we only know what you guys are doing and how stupid this generation is because you're filming yourself eating Tide Pods.
Mhm.
I mean, did we do things like put Elmer's glue over our hands so we could peel it off? Yeah, but we weren't like
Yeah.
recording it. So
Right.
just because I said I was doing it, you have no proof.
Right. True. True. True.
You know what I mean? Or like
Yeah.
clipping our fingers with clothespins to see if it hurt. Like again, no proof because we didn't record it. So
Hmm.
yes, it's more normalized to read smut. She wrote them at my dad's request, and I looked over some of it. It was very fascinating. She remembered when her town got electricity as a
That's
girl.
so cool.
Wow. That is
Love that.
awesome, to be honest. This is why I wish that I liked historical fiction more. Because, like, I feel like the stories are fascinating. I just don't care.
I
I
love historical fiction.
A
So
lot of times historical fiction just annoys me. Or, like, I wanna like it, you know? Especially, like but I think my
do
problem
that.
with historical romance is it tends to, like, romanticize, like, wars and stuff, and I just no, thank you.
I don't really love historical romances except for Tessa Dare. I love Tessa Dare's.
Yeah.
The one that
I
I read first.
I've tried some, like, historical, and I'm just bored, or I do historical romance, and I'm like, "This is not what World War II was like." Like, you were
No.
not out here being a Jewish woman sleeping with a German soldier, ma'am. Like, that's not a thing.
No.
That I mean, maybe it was, but it was not a thing that was happening in the open.
No.
No
No.
one was talking about it. What are you No. What are you doing? I read it through KU. I was gonna buy the ebook. I don't have a lot of physical books. I mean, they will get money off of your ebook purchase. So if
Yeah.
you're not a person who buys like a lot of the books at this point that I'm buying, I mean, other than what's behind me because this needs to be read, it's fine. Anyway, a lot of like Kindle Unlimited books, I'm only going to buy the physical copies if I really liked the books
Hmm.
and then see them at like Target or buy them off Amazon or whatever. I'm only gonna if I know that they're on Kindle Unlimited, I'm only gonna buy them if I really enjoy the books. But they're still gonna get some money from your ebook purchase
Yeah.
too. I'm just saying I tend to buy the physicals because I have places to put them. But if
Right.
you're not a physical book person, I would just buy the ebook because they're
Yeah.
still gonna get money.
Yeah. There are
Have
certain authors like Pivotal Pause is available in KU, but like this series I really love, so I just have been buying the
got it.
physical
Yeah.
copies.
I mean, I'm gonna buy all of the Whitsec books. I'm just waiting for the fourth one to come out so I can buy all of them at once.
Hmm.
So there's that. I'm also gonna probably buy, honestly, all of the Dreamland Billionaires books, even though I didn't love the fine print. Like, I gave it 4.5, but like there was the one thing, the one glaring issue that I had, but I'm still probably gonna buy them because I like, as long as I like the third book, like that means that I liked them enough
Right.
to look at them on my shelf.
Hmm.
Part of why I'm gonna be the mean mom and not let my son have social media until he's old enough I can't stop him. I want him to get his dumbass out without it being a matter of public record. Yeah. And I mean, I have like in my memories and stuff, like if you dug through like my Facebook far enough, you could find like I have like a picture of Ari when she was like 2 years old, where she was throwing a fit because I wouldn't give her like wouldn't let her eat a frozen waffle. And by this I mean a frozen waffle that was frozen, not like a frozen waffle that I heated up. But she didn't want it heated up, and she was crying because I put it in the toaster.
No,
Somehow
no.
that made it disappear. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not one like a lot of these people be putting like pictures of their kids in the bathtub. I'm not. No, no, no,
Mm-mm.
no. We're not gonna do that. I love historical setting that has some accurate stuff and then some magic, which is vampires, ghosts. Also true. Once you subscribe monthly for a full year, then they offer you a yearly rate.
How? When has this happened? This has not
When
happened.
has this happened? I've had a Kindle Unlimited for like at least a year and a half. Because I definitely bought Kindle Unlimited to begin with in 2020, and then I canceled it because I was like, I don't want to read any of these books. Because of course, when you first get Kindle Unlimited, it doesn't know your algorithm, so it just throws like romance, and I was like, disgusting. What am I doing? And then in 2021, everybody was like, I was watching more like fantasy people that were reading Kindle Unlimited fantasy, and I was like, where are these books? And then finally, it kind of just gives me like a healthy dose of everything because I started searching for things and downloading them to my Kindle. So it will
Mhm.
eventually figure out your algorithm. Because I know a lot of
Right.
people cancel Kindle Unlimited because all it throws at you at first is romance.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, because she also likes frozen corn dogs. Like she'll eat all the breading off the outside of a corn dog and then have you cook the hot dog. Which I mean, it doesn't hurt them. Like it's already cooked, but like I was
No,
like,
yeah.
gross. Like I don't understand. Definitely going to eat a heated up waffle in this sprint now. Yeah. Sounds so good. Yeah. I mean, and I let her, like, I gave her a waffle that was frozen, and she bit it, and she was like, "This." She was like, "Yuck, mom," and I'm like, "Clearly, like I have to cook it first. Like I have to heat it up, ma'am." My Kindle Unlimited is a gold mine of horror. Right, because once you find books and download them, it will start giving you recommendations based off of what you've downloaded. So I
Mm-hmm.
have like a little bit of horror, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of thriller, and a little bit of like not really any contemporary romance. I'm not gonna
I have a
lie.
bunch of cozy mysteries.
I still have to look up my contemporary romance most of the time, but it gives me like a good fair bit of smut. My kid got mad at me for cooking pizza rolls. Yeah, like I don't understand. Like why? Like do y'all think that everything that's frozen tastes like ice cream? Because that's not a thing that's true. I'm sorry. Okay, do we want to do another sprint? Are you leaving me? What are we doing?
Well, I'll definitely do another sprint because I want to read it, but
Okay.
I don't know after that. It might be that might be it.
ML said she might want want it for cozy mystery.
No, she's in a cozy mood.
Yeah, she's saying that's what I might want it for.
Oh,
Not
for
limited.
KU.
Yeah, for cozy
Oh,
mysteries.
perfect.
Honestly, until I met Brittany, I didn't even know that Kindle Unlimited had cozy mysteries on it
So many.
because I
So
never looked. Maybe that's why I'm not fully into my audio. It's not a cozy. Maybe,
no.
maybe you just need to go read a cozy mystery.
Hmm.
I have no recommendations because I don't read cozy mysteries. Like the last cozy that I read was Dial A for Aunties. So you're welcome. That was the last one I read. Other than like Finley Donovan jumps the gun, I guess. But
Mm.
all right, so we will do. This might be the last one. I don't know. I'm gonna turn on the maybe banner when we come back. This is why I made this maybe banner. No one else has one, but I'm just like, sometimes you don't know until you
Hmm.
know. You know what I
I know,
mean?
because I feel really bad when all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that was the last sprint. Sorry.
Right. So I'm like, because there's sometimes when I'm like, yeah, 2 sprints, that's good. Especially like on Thursday nights because I do them at nighttime. So I'm like, yeah, 2 sprints, that's good. But then
Mhm.
I'm like, well, you only got 1 sprint. And then I'm like, well, now I feel like I have to do one more because like I feel bad that I didn't like warn you that it could be.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So this could be the last sprint, y'all. Veronica Speedwell is historical cozy.
Yeah, see, I
Oh, let
want
me
to
see
try
this.
that, I think.
Is she on KU?
I don't know.
Or they on KU? I don't ever know. Because like V.E. Schwab, I thought was a woman, but everybody uses they them pronouns, so that's what I started using. Because I don't know, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't realize that. But Veronica Speedwell is the name of the character, isn't it?
I don't know. I just typed in Veronica Speedwell. Maybe is it by Blythe Bates?
Yeah, A Curious by Deanna Rayborn. Yeah,
Oh, it's Deanna Rayborn.
is the author. Yeah, Veronica Speedwell is the yeah, it's a Victorian mystery series. So yeah, it would be like
This looks great. I might read this, but
it's
it's not on Kindle.
it's
Oh,
good.
this is with the Curious Beginning. Okay, I know.
Yes.
So I might read this.
Beautiful covers. I
The
don't
first
know if
book
that's why I want to read it so much, but
the first book is only $2.99. Here's the thing: I've been buying a lot of books on Kindle, and then like the whole series on Kindle is only $84
hmm.
because I tend to just like buy them all on Kindle, and then if I really like them, I'll buy like this box set. Because otherwise, I end up like I did with Throne of Glass. Because I bought Throne of Glass originally as a box set, and then I bought all of the audiobooks because Mr. Reading When Evil wanted to read them, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not really feeling a physical book, so now I also own all of them on my Kindle. It's fine, really.
Oh, that's
Night,
hilarious.
Jean. Jean is really going to bed now.
Okay. Good night.
The author is Deanna Rayborn. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check this out. Because I think I can get it from my library too, so I might try that first.
I would think so.
Because I like to support the library when I can.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do maybe the last sprint. So we'll see
Okay.
y'all in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How did we do?
I got to page 282. I was on page 216. I
Wow.
have like 20 pages left.
You read that quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the font is pretty big and there's like text message conversations like in it. Like there's some mixed, like not a ton, but there's some mixed media in it. So like, I mean, it's a quick read,
Right.
kind of into it. So
Hold on. I'll tell you how far I got into this. Where is the damn here? Because I'm reading the or listening to the audio. So I listened to an hour and 21 minutes. It says because like I'm listening at 2 times speed. Because I would speed it up a little bit more, but I think the guy that narrates James. So I got to 15%, but like the guy that narrates James, I think his accent is like just thick enough that if I bump it up to 2.5, I'm not going to be quite able to understand what he's saying. But the girl is easy, like the girl part, Wendy's part is easy enough to like. Also, I forgot how violent this book is. Like this man has murdered at least 2 people since I started this book.
how far are you?
15% in. So I'm like on chapter 7. Like I'm about to be on chapter 8. I have
It's
44
like
seconds.
one every 7%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because he kills somebody in the very beginning, like, which is a flashback, but like, you still murder someone.
Right.
And then, like, this whole last chapter was about him killing this dude, because he disrespected Wendy at her place of business.
All right.
I forgot how violent. I feel like what I did was I just like remembered all the smut and just like blanked out everything else because like I don't remember any of this happening. It's fine. It's
That's funny.
fine. Chris said that they also have all of the like the TOG series in all formats too. Like for I feel like I have it for no reason, but like I am reading them on my Kindle, so that's fine. And I am like annotating, not that one. But like I did like start annotating Throne of Glass after I reread it. So I feel like my physical copies are just gonna be like annotated copies that I pick up, every once in a while when I want to reread them and look at my notes.
Yeah.
Hello to Mama Bree. She's a good last sprint for bed. Yeah, probably this is gonna be the last sprint just because I felt like I was falling asleep during the last sprint.
I was
Which is
too.
why I turned my camera back on because I was like, if the camera's on, you're not gonna close your eyes.
Yeah.
So I like turned the camera back on and then like played my game. And I still have to film a vlog clip. I filmed one for like my wrap up vlog already, but I need to film one for the 24-hour vlog since I finished whatever that book was called, Terms and Conditions, since I finished that. And so I was like, I need to do that and then finish what I need to do for the night and then go to bed because like clearly I'm falling asleep. Did no reading, but I did reply to comments. Wonderful.
I mean, I might finish reading it, but I don't need a sprint.
I mean, I could give you one if you need one.
No.
Got some work done this sprint and did eat waffles. Did eat that waffle. Wonderful. We love a waffle. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm honestly like the whatever this book was called, Terms and Conditions, it took me like a week to read it. But I feel like that's because I started it when I was at Reni's. Like I started it right before I left to go to Reni's.
Mm-hmm.
And then we like didn't read anything for the first like 3 days that I was there. So I feel like it shouldn't have taken me that long to read if I was actually reading.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can't wait to start reading Hook tomorrow. Yeah, it's a ride, bro. Like it's a ride. I give it 5 stars, and like I feel like it's still gonna be a 5-star book. You know what I mean? I just forgot about the graphicness of like people in this book. I don't know why. I don't know why I like blanked that part out, but I like blanked it out. Finished Wolverine Prodigal Son. It's amazing. Logan is a teen in the story. There are no connections to the X-Men at all, but it was so great. Wonderful. Well, I mean, I feel like they all have stories before the X-Men, so that makes sense to me. Getting these two series mixed up now. Which one? Which two series, ML? What series are you getting mixed up? Are you getting mixed up with the Never After series? Because the Never After series is
The Never After series and the Dreamland series?
Maybe. Because the Never After series is a series of standalone novels. They at no way do like in no way do they interconnect. But the whole premise of them is that the villain gets their happy ending. One is about so that's Dreamland Billionaires. So Dreamland Billionaires is about three brothers whose grandfather passes away and he owns Dreamland, which is like Disney, basically. Right. And then the Never After series, which is what we're all reading, they are retelling. So you have like Hooked, Twisted, Scarred, and Wretched, I think. I don't remember what the last one is called right now. It's purple. It has a bell on it. Anyway, those ones are Disney retellings where the villain gets their happy ever after.
Nice.
Bubble baths are wonderful, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a shower at some point. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I need to add. This is the last sprint. I think I already said that. I feel like there's some. Oh, if you still want to send books for Ari for her birthday is on the 15th. Her little wish list thing is down below. It's also linked on my Instagram bio in the link tree in there. I've added some more books to that in the last couple of days. So if you want to send books for Ari for her birthday, if you click on the wish list link and send it from her wish list, it will send it to her. Like it will have her name on it. I figured out how to do that so it doesn't keep putting my name on it because that's really annoying. Because then I open the stuff and it's for her and then I feel bad. Because like I wanted her to open it.
Right.
Hold on.
Well, Jean says the link doesn't work.
Of course it doesn't. Hold on, I'll grab for you. That one comment made no sense. Glad you misunderstood. I must be more tired than I know. It's fine. Here's the thing. My life is a series of autocorrects, so I feel like I can just read other people's messed up messages that make no sense to anyone else. It's fine. Needing to help choosing next book. Okay, let us know what books they are. Here they
She's
are.
got them.
Throne of Glass, Nightmares, The Last Word, or The Cousins. So what am I saying? The only two, this is what happens when I'm on sprints for like 12 hours. I lose all sense of reality because I was on sprints for 8 hours with Brittany. Now I've been on sprints for like 3.5 hours by myself. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. It's fine. The only two out of those four that I have read are Throne of Glass and The Cousins. I gave both Throne of Glass and The Cousins 5 stars. So.
Is Nightmares is that the spooky middle grade by the guy from How I Met Your Mother? Jason Segel? Because I really liked that one.
He wrote a book?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Hold on. It's right behind.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked The Cousins personally. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did. ML, we're not doing that today. My brain is not ready for this.
I mean, this is the audiobook version, but
obviously, but
he's got this guy on it. Oh, right there. I would recommend that. I liked it. That's the only one of those I've read, but I loved it. And he reads the audiobook. If you have the audiobook, Chrissy. I don't know if you do, but
Here we go. Here is the link. I'm gonna put it right in here. No, ML, I'm not ready. Like, I'm not. My brain is not there for that. But speaking of 24-hour sprints, let me see if I wrote this down because I do have the date for the next one for
I like
anyone who
it.
cares. My next 24-hour sprints will be the weekend of the 19th. So that's not next weekend, it's the weekend after. So the reason that I'm doing it then is because my sibling will be in town and they can help me with Ari. And also no one else will be home because, well, Austin might be home, but Mr. Reed Wendiva has some kind of adult camp out thing that he's going to, and I still have to work. So my sibling asked if they could come visit during that weekend, and I said, or during that week, and I said, yeah, sure, and they'll still be here. I mean, they were like, I don't know what to do with your kid, and I was like, you literally don't have to do anything. Like, she can watch TV, but like when she's hungry, help me out by feeding her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because she always finds times when I'm not, like when I'm talking or like not able to like right then get up and help her to like come ask me for things because kids, you know what I mean? But here is the Amazon link for Ari if you want to send her books. For this year, we're just doing a book party. She does not need more toys that she's not going to play with, okay? She has a lot of toys. She doesn't play with any of them. But she had a whole meltdown like last month about how I have more books than she does. So I was like, cool, let's have people send you books. You're welcome. Yes, I will be setting them up probably this next week so that they're already set up and everything like that. I don't know exactly who I have coming right now. Amy, you're always welcome if you want to do 24-hour sprints. You know what I mean? Probably Brittany. Kelsey, unfortunately, will not be with us for 24-hour sprints this time because she is gallivanting in Tokyo and Taiwan. No. Tokyo? What am I saying? Japan and Taiwan, I think, is where she is. But I know she's like going to like Disney Tokyo. I don't know if that's Disneyland. Is that Disneyland or Disney World? Disneyland?
I'm not sure. Actually.
I feel like it's land in all the other places.
Yeah, I feel like it's only world in Florida, but I don't know that that's right.
Oh, that's right. Whatever. She's going to the Disney theme park that's in Japan. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. So she will not be on with us, but I'll probably have, you know, the other besties. I don't remember if Crystal said she could come or not. I don't remember. Maybe Ren. You know what I mean? We love Ren on this channel. So there will be people. You just won't be
I don't have anything on my calendar the 19th to the 20th. So
you won't just be like staring at me eating Joella's chicken the whole time. There will be other people. Hopefully. Let's see if we can make the chaos keep the chaos down a little bit longer this time. I don't know what happened. You know, I know what happened. Brittany hadn't been on 24-hour sprints in 2 months. And then she was supposed to be on 24-hour sprints with me at noon, like when we started. And then she messaged me and was like, today is a really bad day. I'm going to come out at 8. And by then I had Amy on with me. And me and Amy, we were not very, I mean, the chaos was not there. And then Brittany came on and then there was the chaos. And I was like, this is just because Brittany has not been.
Bring the chaos.
That's all. That's it. It's fine. Maybe it is Thailand. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. She's in a different country that's not the country she's living in, which is Canada. At this point, I don't know what I'm saying. So you're welcome. That's a long weekend in Canada. Wonderful. I hope you will hang out with us. Oh wow. The days before we leave for a 3-day road trip to Cali to find a rent house. I mean, just pop in. You know what I mean? Just be like, hello. You don't have to stay up all night like you tried to do last time. ML made it, I think, to like 3:30 last time. Her time.
I remember. She made it
4:30 my time. I was proud of her. You know what I mean?
That's a long time.
I made it the whole time. And then here's the thing. The last like 2 hours, thank God. Who came on? It was you and Kelsey, wasn't it? That came on for the last couple hours. And like, thank God I had y'all because by then I was like, I had no idea what I was doing at that point. Like I was just staring into the abyss. I was so tired that I was just staring into the abyss. And then I went to work that night, and then the next day I went to Reni's house. Yeah, because I was gonna take Saturday off, and then
Right.
one of the other closers, he called out like last minute and was like, "I can't work on Tuesday." He was like, "I can't work on Saturday." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So AJ was like, "Can you work on Saturday because I really need a third body?" And I was like, and he's like, "I know you requested it off." He's like, "But is there any way?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." So I feel so bad. And y'all can ask Rainy if you don't believe me. I feel so bad because I went to work. So I did the 24-hour sprints. I slept
Mhm.
2 hours. I went to work. I came home and I finished packing, and then I laid down for like 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that, because I had to be up at 8 because Mr. Reedy Winiva had a work meeting. So I had to ride with him to his work meeting. Well, I was up at 8. He was not up at 8:45, and he needed to be there at 9:15. We're not going to talk about it. But I'm up. So I was like, let me film my collab video, refilm it because it exported not right and it corrupted. So I had to refilm my books that made me cry video because I was like, that goes up while I'm gone. Like that was doing like 2 days. And then I finished the collab video, the Cyrus collab video that I did with Rainy and Brittany. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I have all of that done. And then I finished my week in the life vlog as well with closing clips about how I was leaving and all that stuff. So I had gotten like maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep, right? And then I got on a plane. I don't sleep on planes. Okay, it gives me anxiety to sleep on planes. So I don't sleep on planes. So I did the plane ride, got to Rainey's house, and at like 6 o'clock, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go take a nap. And like I really meant to take like a 2 hour nap and then get up. I slept until 3 a.m. Rainy, because she had texted me, I guess, while I was sleeping to tell me like, "Hey, there's food in the fridge. Like, if you're hungry, like, get up and eat, whatever." And I texted Rainy, and I was like, "I am so sorry. Like, I did not get any sleep because I was just like back to back up." And she was like, "It's fine." And then like the rest of the time, like we hung out. But I felt so bad because I was like the first night that I'm here, and I just like knocked out. It's fine. Um, I mean, ML, you probably were a contributor. Oh, ML stayed up until 4. I'm sorry. We got to give her kudos. Went from
Mhm.
3:30 to 4. So in April, she stayed up. What month are we in? We're in May. In March, she stayed up till 3:30, and in April, she stayed up till 4. Or
Well, I
maybe
mean, it was technically in April at that point because
actually,
you went
ML,
from March to April
I was about
in
to
your
say
24 hours.
because I think actually you stayed up till 3:30 on first April sprints because the first April sprints were actually the weekend of April 1st.
Mm-hmm. So it was like March
But I was
31st
counting them
to
as
April.
March because they bled. They was like March 31st to April 1st was how
Yeah.
it went. And then we had another sprint in April, which usually that doesn't happen because
Yeah.
usually we wait till the very end of the month to do 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Must not try this month. That's fine. You're traveling. I mean, should I have stayed up for 24 hours, worked, and then gone to Florida? I should not have done that. Like, I should not have done that. Especially because like there were so many people, like nobody wears masks in the airport anymore. Uh,
Mm.
I mean, I wore a mask, but like no one else wears that. And then of course, like the flights are full now, so there's no like break in the seating, like how they used to leave the middle seat. So I'm like, thank God I didn't have like a middle seat. I would have cried. But like I was by the window on one flight and on the aisle the next flight, like the flight home. And I was like, this is just too many people. Like, what happened to COVID regulations? Like, I preferred that. Like, I feel like we should just follow that all the time. Leave a little bit of breathing room on the planes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, we love the chaos. I always warn people, like, when people find the 24-hour sprints, and that's like their first, like, especially when they find the 24-hour sprints at like 8 p.m., and that's their first foray into my channel, I'm like, if you can stick this out, you might as well subscribe. Because 24-hour sprints is the most chaotic time,
They're pretty chaotic.
to be honest. I mean, we do
They're
chaotic
pretty fun. but they're pretty
Yeah, I mean, I
chaotic.
do chaotic stuff on, like, night sprints too, but, like, the 24-hour sprints are a whole different thing because you never know who is actually gonna bring the chaos.
Mm-hmm. Because who
So,
would have thought it'd be Brittany?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Because I was like, okay. Because I was like, "Whoa, I have Ren," and I was like, "Ren doesn't really seem like a chaotic person," and I've been on sprints with Ren before, like, on Brittany's channel and on Paige's channel, and, like, Paige, when she does long sprints with lots of people, like, they get chaotic, but her brand for her channel is kind of just chaos anyway.
Right.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but Ren is usually like, the voice of reason. So I was like, I don't think Ren's gonna bring chaos. I almost expected Reni to bring chaos because she had just had the baby, but she
Mm-hmm.
was pretty, chill because she was tired. You know what I'm saying? And then like Brittany came on and Brittany brought the chaos, and I was like, this is what I mean. You never know. It could
Yeah.
be me, it could be Brittany, it could be someone you would
It
never.
might be me one of these days.
Right, like, but Brittany came in. I don't even remember what we were. Oh, because we had Ari wisdom over here, Ari isms, and everybody was laughing, and I'm not good when she like gives me sass, like where people can hear her. Like I don't know how to react.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how to react to it because I'm like I don't want you to think that I just like scream at my kid all the time, but like also like what. And so that started, and then Brittany started laughing, and then from there it just became chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It just became chaos. I don't know what this is. Is this about the chaos? Because same, honestly. It always seems that like AJ, which is my GM for anyone that doesn't know, at my job, he always seems to chime in the middle of the chaotic moments. Like he's always like TB love or like Geneva's my favorite sprinter or like something in the comments when we're like in the middle of chaos. I'm like, cool. We'll just
Was that like when Ari like called HA and like just
yes.
sent him a
This
picture?
was during that time because I had given her my phone. She wanted to go call her grandma. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, go call your grandma. And she went and called my stepmom. And then she brought me the phone and she was like, I didn't call AJ. And I was like, did you not? So I like look because I was like, well, maybe AJ called me and she answered it because that's happened before. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, clearly you called AJ because the FaceTime call is outgoing. And then he sends me a picture. He's like, "Hey, can I ask you a question or something like that?" And I was like, "Okay, sure. What's up?" And he sends me a picture, like a screenshot of the FaceTime of Ari, and I was like, and then she came in here and I was like, so clearly you called AJ because he sent me a picture of the FaceTime. And she was like, why would he do that? I didn't call him. But apparently, AJ told me on Saturday when I went to work, he was like, I was like, well, she said that you called her. But I was like, but I could tell because it was an outgoing call that she called you. And he was like, I literally answered the phone and she was like, I didn't call you. Like, then how did I get on the phone? Because I didn't call you. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, so she told you she didn't call you? He was like, yeah. He was like, she was trying to
Did you
tell
fall
me
for it? No.
that I called her. And I was like, no, dude, I didn't call you. And I was like, wow. I was like, well, she came in here trying to tell me that you called her and she didn't call you. But I was like, this literally shows as an outgoing call. So,
Gaslight, gaslight. Yes. My students and I had a conversation about what gaslighting is today. They were like, "We don't do that," and I was like,
do you
And I
not?
explained what it was, and they were like, "Oh, we do that."
Do you not?
I was like, "You are teenagers. You gaslight."
And here's the thing, teenagers usually gaslight and don't really know that they're doing it.
Right. Like they're not
They're
it's
not
like an
really
instinctual like thing to be like, "I'm not doing that." But like, yeah, you are. Like
you are doing it, but it's fine. Yeah, but I was just like, bro, you literally called it. But yes, and then the chaos ensued. So like, I don't know. I maybe Ari,
might have been Ari.
you know what
But
I mean.
Brittany didn't help.
But Brittany not being on 24-hour sprints in 2 months just
Yeah.
added to the chaos because like I purposely made the weekend that we did them that weekend because I knew Brittany could be there.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Aren't you flying out to Rainey's?" And I was like,
It'll be
"Sacrifice for the booktube, please." I mean, I was like falling asleep on the plane, like trying to read because like I was like sitting there like with my Kindle like this, and I was like trying to read, and like the words would start to like swim, and I was like, clearly, I'm not awake enough to read this book at all. Like, not even a little bit.
Oh,
All right, friends. Thank you for hanging out. If you've not watched it, there's a collab video with me and Reni on my channel. It's a scavenger hunt
I have it saved. I haven't watched it yet.
with Rainey's bookshelves. It was great. There's also, I think at least both of them might be up now, but I know at least one, which I think is the trope one. It's the tier ranking for thrillers books. We did that on her channel, but there's another one on her channel also. But for some reason, I can't think of what that other one is. Please hold. Because I don't know if the other one is actually up yet, or if that's supposed to be going up on a different.
Were you in her friends one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Because that was her game or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so the other one is not up yet. So the tier ranking thriller tropes is up. It's been up for 4 days. That
I
one's
didn't
great.
even see that. That's weird. Okay.
And then the other one that will be up soon, I'm just going to tell you guys because, sprinting privilege and all that. The next one that will be up is, it's me choosing her TBR. That's what it is. So I picked 4 books. I'm not going to tell you what they are. But I picked 2 books off of her, like, want to read right now shelf and 2 books off of just, like, her regular shelves that you always see, like, in her videos.
Mhm.
And, then I explain to her, like, what the book was, or, like, I tell her, like, why I picked the book, and then I hold the book up and, like, show her what the book is, right? So, like, I give her a hint as to what the book is to see if she can guess. She doesn't guess any of them. But to see if she can guess which book it is before I show it to her, and then I show it to her and explain why I picked said book.
Oh, fun. I like that.
No. Actually, because the shelf that we use, she hasn't read any of the books on the shelf. Also, I would have never been able to get them home because it was hard enough getting the, like, I think I have like 8 books or something that I had to bring home with me, and it was hard enough getting those home because my dad. Good night. You're welcome. So if you have not watched all the collab videos, go watch them. I'll have a new vlog, the Florida vlog, and my TBR game will be up sometime tomorrow. I can't guarantee you what time, to be honest, but they'll be up sometime tomorrow. So
I will post something again someday eventually.
right. But also go subscribe to Amy. That way you know when she does post something. Anything. We get busy, you know what I'm saying?
It'll happen eventually.
and then we have all these ideas and then we can't, like, bring them
Yeah.
to the forefront. That's my problem. I have so many ideas that I'm like, I want to do this and this and this and this, and then I have like 15 vlogs going at once, and I'm like, I don't remember what any of these were. Cool.
Yes.
Cool. No problem, Glenda. Thank you for hanging out. So we will see y'all. I don't know when the next time I have sprints is. Next time I have sprints, I'm pretty sure is next Thursday. I don't think I have nothing written down for sprints before then. So unless someone asks me to be on sprints between now and next Thursday, my next sprints will be next Thursday. I don't sprint as much as I once did. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time. But I mean, you might get, like, maybe I'll do like Wednesday daytime sprints or something. Maybe I'll do this like a random daytime sprint session for no reason at all. But until then, we love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we'll see you in the next one. I hate closing these out. I feel stupid always. So bye.
Bye.